Hello, this is the Provoked Prawn, and this is HyperX's Cloud Alpha gaming headset. This is an unboxing and review video where I'm going to be talking to you about my experiences with the Cloud Alphas and what they've been like to use on PC. And for reference, before we get started, I'm using the microphone from this headset to do the voiceover for this video, so you can immediately get an idea of what the quality of that's like. And as you can see, it is pretty decent as well. Now this is a fairly understated headset from HyperX, which boasts the usual clean design from the company that includes an interesting setup with an aluminium frame, so a nice solid headband and a good solid design. It also has some deep ear cups, as you'll see, and a nice large fit, as you can see from my glass stand. Now this headset is designed to work with PC, PlayStation 5, 4, Xbox One, Mac, mobile, Nintendo Switch and VR headsets. It comes with two 3.5mm cables included in the box. You have a standard single cable that I'll show you in a second, which is 1.3 meters, and then a split cable for use on PC with a mic and headset jack separately, and that's 2 meters long. Now I've been using both while on PC in a number of different ways, and so I'm going to talk to you about my experiences with the headset and what I've enjoyed and not enjoyed about it. And for the most part, this is going to be a positive review because this is a very nice headset with a nice understated design to it and a number of really nice benefits. Now in the box you get a nice little carry bag, which is nice plush thing, and as you can see immediately, the high quality braided cables. Both cables are detachable, and obviously you use this one as an extension lead for the single one that I'll show you in a second. Removable microphone is also beneficial because it means you can take it off and use a dedicated microphone if you want, or as I showed recently with the ModMic wireless video, that you can also upgrade the microphone if you want to do that. I'll talk a bit more about that later on and link to that video in the description so you can check it out. Now as you'll see immediately when you get this headset out of the box, it has a nice large setup in terms of the shape of the ear cups and the externals. It also has a very understated design. There's no RGB lighting or anything on this headset. Also, it's worth noting that this is the blackout variant. There's also one with red accents on it and a white and purple edition, so there are a number of different things available, and you can see it's very flexible in terms of what you can do with the headband and the bend and tilt and such of that. But as I said, it has an aluminium frame, so where it joins to the ear cups and the headband itself is aluminium. It's nice and solid, should last and stand up to quite a bit of abuse. One of the things that I've found about this headset is it's remarkably comfortable to wear for a number of different reasons. Obviously, as you can see, it has these leatherette padded ear cushions which make it comfortable and also capable of blocking out a lot of external noise, which is one thing I liked. But another point of note is it's fairly lightweight. It comes in at around 336 grams, including the cable and the microphone when those two are connected, which means it sits on the head in a comfortable way and doesn't put unnecessary pressure on the head, but it does have a good clamping force. It's not too tight and it's not too loose. I've not had any issues with it flying off. Also, I really like the overall shape of the ear cups. They're nice and long, as you can see from these shots, which means that they cover the ear nicely, and because you have that leatherette material, it ends up blocking out a lot of external noise. One downside of this is it's a bit difficult to hear yourself talking when you're using the microphone, and there is no side tone as standard, so you can't hear yourself through the mic, which is one letdown. It has a dual chamber design that you can see noted on the side, which basically means it's designed to give you a good quality sound in a number of ways, and I'll leave all the specs in the description. But also importantly, it has a good range of audio, surprisingly loud with these 50mm drivers as well. If you crank it all the way up, you find it's pretty deafening. It's very loud headphones indeed, so if you're worried about whether it's going to be loud enough, I wouldn't worry. They are perfectly capable. What you'll see is when you pop those ear cups off as well, they are nice and squishy. Those are very pleasant on the ears. Obviously, being leatherette material, you do get a little bit hot. And one thing that I will note is I would like them to be a little bit deeper. You can see from these shots they're not particularly deep. They're not too shallow either, but this is obviously going to be a personal thing, whether your ears stick out quite a lot or not. Mine perhaps do, so I find they're touching the drivers just a touch, but not enough to annoy me. And I've been wearing these throughout the day, listening to music, and then into the night video editing and playing games. And I found that the overall comfort's fantastic. There's a good bit of cushioning on the top. The ear cushions do a nice job of covering the ears, and the overall sort of headband aesthetic and the grip force on it, the way it clamps to your head, has been a nice balance. It strikes a good balance in a number of different ways. Obviously, that weight being one of them. It's lightweight, fairly lightweight, and just well thought out. You'll see that you have the braided cables, you can see them here spread out, as well as the carry bag for when you need it. And you'll notice the difference in the length of the cables. The single 3.5mm connection is designed to be used on controller, obviously, and plugging into something that's right next to you. If you have your PC close by and you just want to plug in that single cable, then you can, but you can also split it into two for using with the microphone as well. The fact that you can take the microphone off is obviously a benefit as well. If you're like me and you prefer to use a dedicated microphone normally, and it's nice to be able to get that out of the way, obviously you can just pull it off and remove it. Now, there's no mic mute on the headset itself. Instead, that's on the little control box that you'll see in a second that's attached to the standard cable. That has a volume control on it and a mic mute set up there. There's no audible cue to let you know it's muted, but you can see that there is a little red indicator on there, so you can just flick that button and mute the headphones, but you won't hear anything inside the headphones to let you know, and there's obviously no light or anything like that either, so it's quite a subtle thing that you could easily accidentally forget that you've muted, but you can see it at a glance just by pulling the cable around. The volume wheel rolls on either side, and I found that, to be honest, to be a little bit fiddly. It's quite recessed in here. I suppose that's a bonus because it means you're not accidentally going to turn the volume up, but it's a bit of a pain to sort of grab onto. I personally prefer to have volume controls on the headset that are a bit easier to access, but it's still there and it's not too bad. The quality of it is also very nice in terms of the quality of the cabling, and at 1.3 meters, that's a reasonable length. Depending on your use case, depends where your PC is obviously and what device you're using, and obviously you also have the option to plug in longer cable and use that should you need to. Now you can see from these shots on my skull, it sits really nicely on there and it looks the part as well. It's a really nice looking headset, and obviously when you pop the microphone off, you could easily use this as headphones if you have a 3.5mm device that you want to plug into, whether your phone still uses 3.5mm or you want to use it with Switch, for example, then obviously you have that option, and it delivers great sound. So I found it has a really rich sound to it, good soundscape, nice and bassy, gives a really good response for music, and obviously for gaming it's fantastic as well. And because of the sort of double driver setup, the large 50mm dual chamber setup on the drivers, it delivers a great sound. Now in terms of the specs, it goes from 13 Hz to 27,000 Hz, so not terribly shabby there. So here you can see a shot of the ModMic, and I'm going to show you now what the quality is like with that by comparison to the microphone I have been using. So here I am with the HyperX Cloud Alphas on the head, and you can see what they look like here, a bit more subtle. And one of the things that you will notice is obviously I'm using the microphone, and one of the things you will picked up on throughout the video is the mic sounds quite compressed. It makes me sound a bit tinier than the usual dedicated microphone that I use, so it's not as good quality, but I don't think it's too bad in terms of what it can capture. And I'm just going to demonstrate with some typing in the background. Now I have turned up the gain in Windows in order to make it loud enough to be heard. This is going to vary depending on your setup, but what I have noticed is that means it looks like it's picking up a bit more background noise in OBS, but it doesn't seem to be picking up a lot. Now I'm typing as I'm talking right now, and so you might be able to hear a little bit of key presses, but it does a good job of eliminating background noise, and that's part of the reason why you have that compressed sound, because it's doing that to get rid of that. The other thing you will notice is it also has a windshield, but it is picking up some of the plosives, sort of P sounds from my mouth, and some of the breathing. You can obviously reposition it to try and avoid some of this, but the further you move it away from your mouth, the less great you're going to sound. However, the fact that you can remove the microphone opens up the possibility of using something else. And now I want to show you something else. I currently have two mics on this headset just because I can, but what I'm doing now is removing this microphone entirely, so the standard mic that comes with the HyperX Cloud Alphas is now gone, and in its place I'm using the Antline ModMic wireless. Now the reason I'm doing this is just because I can, because I had it to hand, but also because I wanted to demonstrate the difference between it. And this is obviously a standalone microphone. This is quite expensive and it's an additional purchase, but you'll notice the capture quality is quite a bit better with this microphone. So I think it's a shame that the Cloud Alphas have such a compressed mic when you can hear good quality microphone here. And obviously you also have the option to upgrade to a fancier dedicated microphone, just remove the mic entirely and go for something a lot nicer. But I think actually the sound quality is pretty good out of the mic that's included with the headset. I just wanted to demonstrate what else you could do. So there you have a review of the Cloud Alphas. Hopefully it's been a good insight into the headset. I found it quite pleasant to use, comfortable, easy on the head, good looking, great sounding, and all round a very good package. This has been the Provoked Prawn. Thanks for watching. This has been the Provoked Prawn. Hope you found this video useful, interesting, hilarious, or otherwise. Take a look at these other videos that I think you might find interesting as well. And have a look at the description for links and other information you might find useful. Click that join button to see the benefits of being a member of my YouTube channel. And most importantly, have a great life.